Hi friends, it's Terri. Thank you so much for placing an order with me. In this video tutorial, I'm going to give you all the instructions and details to create your June 2024 Fun Fold project. This is called Bookbind Z Fold. So the card has a Z fold and also this bookbinding technique. So it is a fun card to create, and this card will display beautifully on a shelf, mantle, or a table, and it is fun to make. The goal for the video is to give you all the details on how I prepared the packet, how to put your project together, along with the miniature card for the postcard, and give you all the details to use other product to create a Bookbind Z-Fold card. At the end of the tutorial, I do have some cards to share with you that I've created with different product. So also I want to let you know you need to use your own adhesive, stamps, and ink for the project. And do be careful when you open up the packet. There are some small embellishments in the packet. So let's start by sorting the packet and talking about the different materials used. So you have an instruction postcard, and inside the you have lots of different pieces. All of the Specialty Designer Series paper, which is the Nature's Sweetness Designer Series paper. It's 12 by 12 in size. You have some of this paper right here. And the beauty of the double-sided Designer Series paper, you have two sides. I don't know if that's the beauty or the downfall, because you have to choose which side. Sometimes it's so hard to choose because they're really beautiful. This specialty paper has a gold design on one side, and then on the other side it's got some background prints. It's very versatile to work with. So you have that for the main card. The die cut is from Gold Foil, and this die cut is one of the online exclusive products. It's the Magnolia Mood dies. It has a stamp set that coordinates with it. What I love about this style of images, you don't have to color them in. Stamp with whatever color ink you want, and all that detail fills in. Also, what's nice about it is if you do stamp with Memento ink or a dark ink and color it in, all these details do all the shading for you. We're using this die for this project, so that is already die cut for you. Do note that I did not take out all of these little pieces, so you're going to have to go in here and poke out some pieces. It's should be easy to tell, maybe even turning it upside down and seeing what's cut gets poked out, and your take your pick tool will work. Some are going to need more work on them than others, and I did not take the time to clean up everything, but sometimes I turn them upside down. I got a better visual of what needs to be popped out. And also, if you put it, oops, I just dropped my bone folder. If you put it now here, see, you keep finding more that need to be poked out. Sometimes just putting a dark surface on the back and then turn it over, and I believe that's all ready to go. You do create a little mess punching those out, but oh, look at that. Well, we'll work with that. I just move it to the side until my video is done, and then I'll clean it all up. So then what you also have are some pieces in here. All the bigger basic white are for the main card. These two are for the main card. Let's put those aside. The Berry Burst and the Designer Series paper, that's the Unbounded Beauty 12 by 12 paper. This paper's got all the new in colors plus Berry Burst. It is so pretty. Background's on the other side, and we have these two prints in your packet. Those are for that miniature card. I always assemble that second. We assemble the main card first. You have a bow punch. That's also the same Designer Series paper. I cut my strips in 1.5 inch strips, and then I can just cut out this image because I don't need that image for the project. And then you have two white flowers, and they're from the Petal Park. These two right here. There's 3 petals or 3 flowers plus a leaf. I just used those two, one of each. And then you have the embellishment. So the rest of this I created or was created from this piece. So I'm just going to clean this up. Oh, goodness. Do you see? I'm not going to start the video over unless I have a major bloop. But this wood grain paper is just something I got on Amazon. It's just to create this nice background. I do have a wood surface underneath here, but it's just, it moves around. So anyway, now you know. So be careful, you have some embellishments. One of them is from the iridescent foil gems. I absolutely love these. 2 different sizes, and they've got that foil shine in there. Perfect for the specialty paper and the gold foil. The other one is called the Glossy Dots Assortment. Oh my goodness, I've used these. They're carried over, and I don't even have a full packet. 4 different colors, 3 different sizes of each, and we have a medium of this. It's probably Melon Mambo, but it worked well for this project. All right, so that explains what's in your packet. As I mentioned, you need to use your own stamps and ink. These 2 you can stamp on before we start the assembly. What I did was I used the Unbounded Love sentiment stamp. I stamped Have a Blessed Day. I used Crumb Cake for my ink color. I thought it went well to go with the foil, gold foil. And then I have this one, You're a True Blessing, for my inside sentiment. This can be a card for so many different occasions, even a beautiful wedding card, which this can be used for a wedding card with these sentiments. You can add this on later. You don't have to have that before we start our assembly. So the beauty of the video is you can pause and rewind at any time. So once you have your stamping done, the other things you're going to want on hand that I'm going to use, and you might want to use too, standard and miniature dimensionals or mini dimensionals. I'm going to use some mini glue dots, double-sided adhesive. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. I'm going to have my Take Your Pick tool on handy, a bone folder, which I just dropped a little bit ago, and I always keep my silicone craft mat handy. So I'm going to grab my bone folder, and then what I'm going to do is also bring in a Simply scoring tool. And first I'm going to explain how I scored items, but then I'm also going to use it for alignment. I like using this wall for alignment. So it's not required, but it's just something I like to do. So let's talk about our measurements. We have a card base. Oh, let me step back. So the beauty, as I mentioned earlier, with the video, we can pause, rewind, watch again, and to assist in your assembly. And so we're going to start by talking about the card base. It is 11 inches by 4 1/4. It is scored for you already at 5 1/2, at 6 3/4, and at 8 3/4. In the packet, I already folded that. And that's what our first fold says. It says fold card base in half, then fold right panel. This is the right panel. And then in parentheses, I say right score line to create the C fold. So you're going to fold it like this to create your C fold. You can take a bone folder and crease those. Okay. Now it says place adhesive on the front panel and adhere layer 1. Layer 1 is the larger of your 2 white. It is 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. It says adhere it to this panel, lining up the edge of the cardstock to the edge of this panel. So we want this lined up. So first we create this Z fold. Ignore the bookbinding fold right now, but we create this fold. This is getting adhered right to here. So what I like to do is just have that placed there, envision that's how it's going to be assembled. Then open this up, place that in the, first we're going to set it down like this, put adhesive just on this panel. It can be your favorite double-sided adhesive. It does not need to be tear and tape. So I have adhesive here and here, just on that panel. I'm going to put this in the corner. I like using this wall for alignment. If I put that in the corner and hold on to it, if you let go of it, it might slip back. I'm going to hold this up and so that it does not touch the adhesive. Put this against this back wall or this wall and then push it up against this wall Don't touch the adhesive until I get it in the corner, and then place it down. That way I can get this nice alignment. It's flush here, and then it should be flush here. And that attached this layer 1 just to that one panel. I'm done with this until we put the mini card together, so I'm going to set that aside. Now what we want to do, it says we want to create our book binding. So I'm just going to fold this like this, and I'm going to crease this. And so what I did was I just creased this book binding fold right here. Now we're going to put adhesive on this small panel, close that down. That's going to create the book bind. So adhesive goes right here, and then we're going to close that, and that's going to create that Z-fold book bind fold. The beauty of this, right now it seems cumbersome. You can fold that underneath and have this flat. Put your adhesive right here, and then I'm going to close this card, and now I've adhered this. This is what's called the book bind, and this is the Z-fold. Now we're going to attach the designer series papers. There's 2 of them. They're 1 by 4, and I showed you this fold or this way. I think it'd be pretty this way too, so I'm going to put mine on this way so you can look at this and decide which of the 2 you like the best. So I'm going to turn this over, and as I mentioned, with designer series paper, you've got that decision to make, which side you want to be right or which side you want to have visible. Now, my preference would be the gold side, but I'm just doing this so we all can see that either are going to work. So I have a little bit of adhesive here. I'm just going to see if I can get that to come off. And there we go. All right. And then I'm going to put this. There's no wrong way to do this, but this will give you you can see which side. There's some script on here. I don't know if there's a complete word, but you can tell by some of the words, some of the letters, which is the right reading. Now I do mention, maybe I don't mention here, but yeah, I do. Equal spacing on top, bottom, and end. I always look for equal spacing on the top, the end, and the bottom. Let this fall into place. Don't worry about equal spacing there. That is all hidden. On this side, look for equal spacing top, side, and bottom, and then that would be fine. Then I'm going to close this. There's a layer 2. That one is actually the same color cardstock I used the basic white, but I texturized this with the exposed brick folder. This is one of the embossing folders that you place your paper in, close it, run it through your die cutting machine, and it texturizes the paper. What I like about these big ones, you can have your orientation either way. Now this one I'm going to put on now, and then I'm going to look for equal spacing on all 4 sides, and also look for matching up those edges there kind of for alignment. You're going to ask me what side is the front side of this texturized paper. It's a personal decision. Either side is going to work, and there's no wrong side on that. So I'm going to look for equal spacing and attach that. All right. So now that we have that attached, we're going to attach the inside. So this is for the inside. Even though it's the same color cardstock, I still created this little die cut. I do have the measurements to be 2 by 3 3/4. That's approximately this size. And I just like using the die for that. You could just stamp right on that section there, okay? Now we're going to adhere this. Now if you wanted, you could put this down with mini glue dots. That's not going to be a problem. I wanted to have it raised a little bit, but I didn't worry about attaching all of these detailed parts. That's why I brought some of my mini dimensionals in here. So I'm going to turn this upside down, and I'm going to take some mini dimensionals. These are going to give it some dimension, and this way I don't have to cut these in half. You can take your standard ones and cut them to different sizes. That all works. There is some space, real estate back here, that a large one will work. So I'm going to go ahead and put a large one in some of these areas. Now, I don't worry about putting a ton of dimensionals on here. If some of this kind of goes in a little bit, that's totally okay. It's really a personal decision how much you pop up on this. And I'm already getting probably more than on here than I did on a previous one. But I think that's good. It's pretty much in here. I'm letting all of that just float. And the thing about it is, it's not going to come off. These are so strong. What do I have? I have at least a dozen, 3, 6, 9. I have, I think, 13 of these on here. More, as I mentioned, in that other sample I shared with you. But if you're using it just to attach, you don't need many. But I'm really adding these just to keep that design from not flattening, to give it some dimension. Now, when you put this down, you want to be careful, or you don't have to be careful. You have to kind of decide how you want to orient this. You can really rotate it anyway. I wanted my sentiment down here. You could have your sentiment up here. So as I have this sitting here, maybe I should put the sentiment on first. What I'm going to do is do that. I'm going to use dimensionals, and what I like to do is put one dimensional on this panel right here, and then I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the edge of this banner, just on the edge over here, and the edge that is the end of my sentiment. This edge is going to hang over like this one. So I'm going to put this down first. I'm going to have it hang over a little bit here, get that to attach. And my goal was not to have exposed adhesive here. That's why I put 1 here and 2 there. Now what I'm going to do is now take this, and now I can kind of see how I want this to rotate. And I'm going to rotate it so it goes well with my sentiment, hangs over a little bit. And because there's no adhesive there, that works out perfect, and you've got that attached. Now there are these embellishments that are perfect for this, gold foil paper. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to attach one here, and here we go. I like how I placed them on this one, so I'm just going to repeat that. And then I'm going to put one up here. Okay. So now that's the finished card. So I do have other samples I'm going to show you after we create this. So this is how it is with this side of the paper, which I love. Now I don't know. I like them both. You can't go wrong with either one. So that is the main card. So let's put this miniature card together. So I'm going to put these up here. And because I want to bring the Simply Scoring tool back in, I'm going to use that again for this corner. And so all of these pieces are scored for you. I don't have measurements for these. I only provide for the main card. So we've got this folded. Then we're going to take this right panel and fold that down. Take the bone folder and crease this. Okay, now we're going to adhere this panel just to this panel, just like that. Okay, so it hangs over on this edge. So I'm going to open it up, put adhesive on just this single panel right here. I'm going to put this in the corner, hold on to it, take this, put that in the corner without touching the adhesive, and then I'm going to let that fall into place, and that's going to help me get this lined up. And now we have this part done. I'm going to fold this, make that crease, and now put adhesive back here to create the book binding. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, put adhesive right here, and then close that down like this. And now we have the book binding and the Z fold. Okay, so now we're going to put the designer series paper on. This is the paper I've got cut, so this is the side. You just need to decide with these flowers which one you want where. So I'm going to put this one on this side. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm done with this. Let's get this out of the way. All right, thanks for bearing with me on this tutorial. So we're going to put these down first, and I want that rotated that way. I'm going to open this up, put my adhesive on the back of this piece. Look for equal spacing on the top, bottom, and end. Let the other side fall into place. I'm going to put this one on the other end. Put your adhesive on. I'm going to just flip that down. I'm going to look for equal spacing on the top, bottom, and end. And I rotate it because the view I have, it's easier for me to see equal spacing if I hold it this way. Let this fall into place. Don't worry about that spacing. Then you have this. Now I'm going to put this onto this. I'm going to look for equal spacing, but also have it aligned so the paper goes straight across, and adhere this. So this would be layer 2 for these measurements. And now I'm just going to kind of look at those the sides. I'm looking for equal spacing there. I'm going to watch the spacing on the bottom and the side and put that into place. Got a little extra there. I'm not going to worry about it. It's my miniature card here. Now, if you open this up, there, did I have a little piece in here? There should have been a little piece in here. You know what? I'll double check. I don't know if I just kind of lost it in my shuffle here. Sometimes they go underneath here. Your packet has this little piece in it to represent your sentiment layer. So that will be in your packet, and adhere that. Then your last of the pieces are for your flower. So we have a bow punched out of the designer series paper. I'm going to take that and I'm going to attach it here, and I'm going to just put one dimensional right there. Now I'm going to assemble the flower. What I like to do is add some character to the flower. How I do that is I take this and I take a paper snips and I cut in to create longer petals. Be careful you don't cut them apart. Just make longer petals, leaving some space, a circle in the middle basically. Then I take my bone folder, hold it like this, and press the petals down on the bone folder. So I'm basically shaping the petals to go down around each side of the bone folder. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I can show you maybe visually. I'm wrapping it on both sides of the bone folder. I did all the petals. Once I do that, I can come in and pinch them a little bit. I'm trying to elongate the petal and kind of just create a different shaped flower than the punch created. I did that with the big one. I'm going to do the same thing with this little guy. So take this, elongate the petals here, but don't cut them off. I've been known to cut too much and then I cut it off. I'm going to take the bone folder, turn it this way, and right now it's just all you're seeing is my big thumbs, but let me do this part and then I can show you. Just get that to start around there, and then you can take and pinch all of these to get a longer, narrower petal. Now I'm going to take the mini glue dot, and I'm going to take my take your pick tool and grab a mini glue dot, and then I'm going to put it behind this little guy, and then I'm going to attach him to the big one, and right in the center. This, I took the backing off of here. Now I can just take this flower and attach it to that mini or dimensional. The dimensional is holding the greenery plus the flower, and then you have your embellishment. It's got adhesive on it, and that's going to be for your flower. And that's going to be the sample, plus you're going to have that. So I'm going to swap that out. This is going to be in your packet to attach there. Now what you can do is take your adhesive, put on the back of this, attach this to your postcard. Now you have a visual of the Bookbind Z-Fold card for next time you want to make this fun fold. The PDF I emailed you has the link to this video so you can assemble that. I tend to forget to put adhesive in the corners, so sometimes my card picks that up. So just FYI on that, you might want to make sure you get that adhesive down on that. And then here's the other cards I have. I have a country birdhouse. I made this one with Country Woods paper. Just love this wood grain paper. I made that with the Country Woods paper and the Country Birdhouse dies. And then I have another birdhouse with the same paper right here, but I haven't put the sentiment on here or the flowers. I'm thinking I should put more flowers up here. And then I also have one with the daisy. Love these daisy dies, and this is the same paper as well. So you can use this fun fold for any of your die cuts and stamp sets, and it's so fun to create. Again, thank you for the order. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Take care and happy creating.